Hello there, welcome to my channel. My name is Missy and I hope you're all having a wonderful day today. I'm in the kitchen and I'm going to be making cinnamon rolls. Very easy cinnamon rolls. I'm using Bisquick that I bought at Dollarama and I'm super excited to show you this recipe. So let's get to and I'll show you all of the ingredients I'm going to be using today for my cinnamon rolls. Okay, so I have everything in front of me here on the counter that we're going to need today. So I have preheated my oven to 350. You want to make sure you do that. And then I have a muffin tin. I have some Pam for spraying that tin. I have a wooden spoon and a spatula. I don't know which one I'll use, but I have both of them out. I also have Bisquick that I bought at Dollarama, $1.25 a package. I have some cinnamon here, some water, brown sugar, and butter. And I have some flour here, and that's just so our Bisquick cinnamon rolls don't stick to the counter. And I have some icing sugar as well for the glaze after. And you can use add-ons in this, so I'm going to put walnuts in mine. You can use chocolate chips, pecans, pieces of apple if you want to. Just anything you want to kind of add in the middle of it, you can. But today I'm going to be using walnuts, and I also bought those at Dollarama for $2.50. So let me get organized here and I'll be back with the first step. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take our Bisquick and we're just going to put it all in the bowl. I'm using 4 packages today. Then the next thing we're going to do is add our 2 cups of water. So each package takes a half a cup of water. We're just going to pour that in. And then we're going to mix that together. And this is going to be a really sticky dough. Make sure you get to the bottom and get all of the Bisquick out. Years ago, I liked these cinnamon rolls they had at a donut shop in town. And one of my friends worked there and she said that they just used Bisquick. So I went home and I made them with Bisquick. And it was super easy. And that's just how I've made them from that point on. I mean, if you don't want to make, ones that use yeast, this is great. So that's all. I'm going to mix that right now. And what I'm going to do is just put some flour down on my counter. Because this is a really sticky dough. And I'm just going to turn that out onto the floured surface. There's some in the bottom of my bowl that didn't mix in, so we'll just put that right on there. And I'm going to try to shape this. And I'm going to put a little flour on top as well. Just make sure your hands are nice and clean. You don't want to play with it too much. You just want to be able to work with it. I try to form it in a bit of a rectangle. A little more flour underneath for rolling. And then I'm going to just get my rolling pin here, and we're just going to roll it out. Just got to play with it until you get the size of the rectangle that you want. Or as close to a rectangle as you can get anyways. Okay. So I'm going to wash my hands again, and I'm going to melt my butter. So here's the consistency of my butter. It's at room temperature, but it's just a little bit warmer than that so I can spread it. So that's how you want your butter. Now I'm just going to go ahead and spread it on my Bisquick dough. So I would say probably maybe a half a cup of butter, maybe just a little bit less than that. Sometimes it's nice to have these easy recipes, especially if, you know, you need to make them in a hurry, you got company coming, or you need something for lunches or dessert. Okay, so that looks good. Let's make sure it's spread out. That's good. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my brown sugar on. Again, I don't really have a measurement for this. I just kind of put on what I like. And you don't have to use 4 packages of the Bisquick. I'm just making 4 packages because I am going to freeze some of these. Then if I want to treat at night, I take them out of the freezer and I pop it in the microwave and have a little scoop of ice cream with it. But you do want to make sure that you cover this . And that looks about good. And I just pat it down. And then you can add more if you want to, but I think this is pretty good. And then I'm going to take my cinnamon . And then I'm going to take my cinnamon and I'm just going to sprinkle it over the brown sugar. And I like a lot of cinnamon. And this is where you're going to put your add-ons on top of the cinnamon. So I'm going to be using walnuts. But like I said, you can use pecans, any kind of nut you want to, really. Chocolate, apple. This is such a good price for these walnuts at Dollarama. And I'm pretty impressed with the look of them, and I have tasted them too, and they're really, really good. So well worth the $2.50 that I paid for them. Okay, so that looks good. And I'm just going to give those a little press. So hopefully they don't go flying out when we roll it up. Okay. Now I'm going to roll, and I'm going to start at this end. And you want to try to get a tight roll. And if you find that it's sticking to your counter, just put a little bit, like try to lift it up and put a little bit of flour to help it go. Once you get a roll going, it's pretty easy after that. I just kind of mold it out as well as I'm going. For some reason, my cinnamon rolls, no matter what kind I make, always get a bigger spot here in the middle, so I just try to even it out. And you can kind of mold it down. These are a little big. Stretch them out. I was watching someone make cinnamon rolls one time, and they cut the ends off and threw them in the garbage. It devastated me. I don't throw anything out like that. The ends are just as good as the middle. Okay, that looks really good. Really, really good. Just going to clean some of this flour up. I find it much easier when you clean as you go along. I'd say that's a pretty good roll. Okay. Just wash my hands again. And I'm going to grab my muffin tin. I need a new muffin tin because this one is really, really old. And I'm just going to spray them really well. And I'm going to spray the top too because they will come up over the top most likely. Okay. Now I'm going to get a knife. And I'm going to find pretty much the middle. So I'm going to say here, and I'm just going to cut down. Then I'm going to go to the middle of this one, cut down, middle of this one, cut down. And then so you can probably get 4 out of each one. it will kind of flatten out. We're just going to go ahead and, you know, play with it, flatten it out a bit, make it round. Then we're going to bring our pan over, and we're just going to sit that right in that pan. Just like that. So just play with it a bit. They're not all going to be perfect in size, but we'll try our best. You just want to make sure you fit them in that circle. And that's it. So I'm going to pop those in the oven. They should take between 10 and 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. I'll let you guys know when I pull them out. But yeah, so I'm going to do that, and I'll be back when they're all cooked. Yummy. So here are the cinnamon rolls out of the oven, and they are piping hot. And they look delicious, and this kitchen smells so good. They're nice and brown. Now, I cooked mine for 25 minutes on 350 degrees. On the package for the tea biscuits, it says to put them on 450 degrees for 8 to 11 minutes, but I don't bake anything on 450 degrees. I just don't think it's necessary. And it might take a little bit longer, but the outcome is pretty much the same anyways. So 350 degrees, 25 minutes, and I'm going to let these cool for 10 minutes in the pan, and then I'm going to transfer them to a cooling rack. And while they're cooling, I'm going to make a nice icing to go on top. So I will be back with the icing as soon as I move these over to cool off a bit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make a cream cheese icing to go on top of them. This is optional. You do not have to do this. You can also just mix icing sugar and a bit of milk and make a nice glaze for the top. But I've decided I want a cream cheese icing for the top. So I'm going to go ahead and take some butter. And I don't have any measurements for this. I'm just kind of throwing it together. But I will leave a recipe for a cream cheese icing in the description box below. So I've got some melted butter. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my melted cream cheese or softened cream cheese. This is just what I had left in the fridge from another recipe. And I'm going to add my vanilla, if I can find it. There it is. I knew I took it out. I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla in there. And I'm going to give that a mix. Guess I should plug it in. There we go. Okay, so I'm just mixing that until it's nice and smooth. And then I'm going to add my icing sugar. And I might need a little bit more icing sugar, so I'll just keep it handy. And I'm also just going to take a little bit of cream. I'm just using 18%. and just put a little bit in there, and I'll add some more if I need it. So I'll just give that a mix. And that's perfect. I'm just going to give the bowl a scrape. Yeah, that's the perfect consistency right there. And I'm just going to be drizzling it on top, so that's the only amount that I need is right there, just a small amount of it. So I'm just transferring them, and this is what they look like. So they have a nice little cupcake shape, and yeah, just a really nice cinnamon roll to make. So I'm just going to go ahead. They come really easy out of that pan if you spray it well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bake off the other 4 cinnamon rolls that we had left over, and that will give us a total of 16 when we're done. Okay, so our cinnamon rolls are cooled off and the other 4 are baking. So I've put my cream cheese icing in a bag. You can use a Ziploc bag too. I just prefer the icing bag, and I have lots of them. And I'm just going to do a back and forth motion on top. On each one, just to have a little bit of icing. Like I said, this is completely optional. You don't have to do this. And then on each one, I'm going to add a few more walnuts. You can toast these walnuts too if you want to. Like that. Just makes them look pretty. And plus, I really like to put icing on things. These are the times I wish I had a bakery. I really do. I love baking and I love decorating things. I really love that, you know, we can take something like the Bisquick mix that's $1.25 at Dollarama and just amp it, you know, kind of make our own thing out of it. And if it wasn't for my friend who worked at that donut shop telling me that they use Bisquick to make their cinnamon rolls, I would never have known. There. So the next thing I'm going to do, so, I mean, they're absolutely beautiful on their own, but I have to amp it up even more. So I'm going to move these down, and I'm going to get my plate out from Dollarama and my cupcake liners. And just to give them some color because they are very brown looking, I'm just going to set it right in one of those liners just to give it a little color, and we'll set it on our plate. And that's just a nice little plate to put out if you're going to have some tea in the afternoon or a coffee. And yeah, I love baking. I just love the end result. I love every step that goes along with it. But the end result is what it's all about. It really is. It almost makes me want to cry. I love baking so much. So I decided to put my cinnamon rolls on my lovely slate tray from Dollarama that I forgot that I had. And I put my little bunnies from Dollarama on top. And I think it looks so, so nice. And I wish I had all of you here so I could give you one. And I hope you like this video, and I hope you try this recipe at home with your family, and I hope they love it as much as mine does. And thank you so much for spending time with me today. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And if you like this video, please subscribe and hit that like button and hit the notification bell so you know when I'm uploading again. And I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day. Until next time, bye for now.